3, 2, 1. Rock Solid Muzkast experience with Aaron and Dave. And on the Zoom call, it's Caleb from Stonewall Static. There's the studio audience.
How are y'all doing?
Hey, what's up, Caleb? Good to see you. I didn't get to see you last time you were on the show because we hadn't had the Zoom set up yet, and we were just doing a phone call. So it's good to see you.
It's good to see y'all. Now you can have your viewers plummet when they see my face and they go, "What are those caterpillar eyebrows?"
They watch us.
Yeah.
Well, no, they don't watch us. We only, but it's okay, you know.
Yeah. So we're getting a break in the weather today. It's only like going to be 95. Is it? What's the weather like there? Is it
Too hot
and humid?
And now remind us where you are, Caleb.
San Antonio, Texas.
So hot and humid.
Hot and humid. Very much so.
I know. It slaps you in the face when you walk out the door.
No,
it's like, oh, hey, it's humid out here.
I could take a glass and I could scoop it through the air and I would have a cup of water.
That's really good.
It's nice to know you'll always be hydrated.
Oh, yeah, always. I might drown, though, if I'm just going on a leisurely stroll.
Right?
That's the issue.
Well, you just got back from Chains Unchained, right?
Sure did.
How was that?
It was incredible, honestly. There's you go to a lot of festivals, but there's something about Chains Unchained that there's an atmosphere that isn't quite like any other one that you go to. It's a very, very loving and inviting atmosphere in a way that you don't see a lot of the time. Like you run into festivals and events that have very inviting atmospheres, but there's something about Chains Unchained that when you walk in the door, the moment you're in there, it's like your family. And
nice.
All bets are off and your doors open, walls down, your family. So it's a really cool dynamic there.
Nice.
Was this your first time there?
Yeah, it sure was. It was our first time playing in Missouri, even. So that was a privilege.
Well, how long has the band been around now?
We've been around for about 3 years now.
Okay, and if I remember correctly, you're 19?
20 now.
You're 20 now. Well, happy birthday. I'm 50 now. So and Aaron's 52. So anyhow, so you started this when you were 16.
Yeah.
And now you're playing Missouri. And have you guys been playing shows? I mean, I know COVID kind of ruined everything, but have you guys been playing shows? Is that Texas is open?
Yeah, Texas is definitely open. We have been playing shows, but hilariously, we play more out of town shows than we do in town shows.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure we have played more shows in Houston this year alone than we have San Antonio as a whole.
Don't you find that kind of odd? I always found that odd.
It's really weird.
Yeah. Some bands like Tesla is from Sacramento. I don't know if you know the band Tesla, but they're from Sacramento and they are huge here. Everybody loves Tesla here. They're hometown boys. However, there's other bands like, say, I don't know, Deftones, which they're from Sacramento. And yeah, they have a huge following here, but they're huge everywhere. And they're much bigger outside of Sacramento than they are here. It's just kind of a welcome home when they're here.
Yeah, exactly. Like Tesla, I actually got to see Tesla a while back. They were opening for Def Leppard and REO Speedwagon.
Yeah, good show.
So, yeah, that was definitely a good show. But yeah, no, it's funny. You get some bands that it's like their hometown is the place they come back to, and on their tour they have to book 3 more hometown shows in a row just to be able to make sure every fan gets in. But then there are some bands where it's like, yeah, their hometown crowd is strong, but they won't get as many people to a show at their hometown as they would, halfway across the country. It's weird how that right place, right time thing kind of hits for certain bands to where it's like, oh, you'll get more people if you show up here than you would here.
Right. It really is odd.
So you created a nice following in Houston now.
Yeah, it's starting to, which is really cool. Something I definitely didn't expect because we played Houston the first time in April of this year. So it hasn't been that long, but we're showing up to Houston and we're seeing a lot of familiar faces when we show up there now. So it's just really nice to see that people when they hear about us are like, hey, these guys are worth coming back to see. So it's cool.
It's got to feel pretty good when you see the familiar face, the person that's returning over and over. It's got to feel pretty good, right?
Oh, it feels great. What the good feeling about it is that the goal that you set out to do, which was be able to give people, for me, us especially, give people a really good time and just kind of a break from life, that we did a good enough job apparently to where somebody was like, hey, I want to go do that again. So
Right.
it feels like you've accomplished your mission and you've brought more people into the kind of family that you're trying to build of a base.
And are they following you enough that they're singing the songs down in the front row and all that? You seeing all that?
It's starting to happen. It's really, really cool. I'm having moments where any hometown show we play, some shows in Houston, I can just back off the mic for a while and I can just listen and I'll have the crowd singing our songs for me. It's super. Definitely the word for it is humbling.
Yeah, that's nice. That's got to be a good feeling. Two things spring to mind here. One is Billy Joel. He says he keeps this big book of all his music right on his piano. So he said he doesn't really need it, but it's a security blanket and makes him feel good that it's there. So if he ever forgets the words to a song, it's right in front of him. But he said the crowd knows my songs enough that if I don't know the words, they just sing it for me. But I was also at a show, and you probably don't know this band, Naked Eyes. They're an old 80s new wave band. And of course, these guys are like probably 60 now, something like that. So they can't hit the high notes like they used to. And they had one big song, and they played that song, and this guy could not sing the high notes, and it sounded horrible. And I felt bad for him. And, but the crowd knew the song and they were all singing it. And I was like, dude, all you got to do is just put the mic to the crowd. Don't sing it. Just put the mic to the crowd, because they sang it and they were all having fun and they didn't care. The people in the crowd still didn't care that he couldn't hit the notes because they were just having fun.
Oh yeah. No, and you get a lot of guys, especially if you those who are familiar with a lot of metalcore genre music, you get a lot of singers in that genre that go into the studio and get these great recordings of them busting out these high notes, but then when they go to do it live, they're moving around so much on the stage that they're winded and they can't sing these notes. So they just, that when they get to a part where they're having to sing that high note, they'll just shove the microphone at the crowd, because
let the crowd do it.
Yeah,
they'll do the job for you.
Yeah.
Both the bands I saw that night were complaining that it was hot and dry, and that's why their voices were not performing the way they normally do. One of the bands I buy that from, because I've seen them before and they've been great, and he didn't sound that great that night. And he said, I'm sorry, it's just really hot and dry here. But the other band, I was like, I don't buy it. I just don't think your voice is there anymore. And that's okay. We get older, it changes. But
yeah,
let the crowd do the work for you.
Oh yeah.
Who's in the band with you again?
Yeah, so our drummer is my brother Josh. He's super cool sometimes. And then
sometimes not all the time.
And
he's a drummer.
he's one of those guys, he'll be drumming, and if a photographer comes up to him, he'll make that whole drummer face, so nothing special. No, I'm just kidding. Josh is great. And then on guitars, Daniel Hopper. He's a longtime friend of ours who we actually met at our church a long time ago. I was like 13, and we started jamming when we found our mutual interest for music. So we've been playing music together, not as Stonewall Static, since we were like kids.
Nice. Are you guys similar in age? He sounds like he's older.
Yeah. So I'm 20, Daniel's 21, Josh is 22. So it's
Oh,
just kind of
okay.
this staircase.
Right. Well,
Older brother.
now who's
Yep.
playing the bass on the new song?
That'd be myself.
Is that you?
Yep.
Good bass line. I was
Thank
listening
you.
to it on everything sounds better on the headphones, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm digging the bass line. Yeah, good
Thank you.
job. Good job.
I had that bass line since, believe it or not, I came up with that bass line when I was 13.
Just
And I
hanging
had
around.
it just hung around in the back of my mind forever, and I could not figure out how I wanted to put it in a song. It went through like 4 different songs before it ended up in Get This Kid a Medal, and it ended up working great for it. And I was like, okay, let's go with it. Finally give this one some light.
You know, I want to talk about Get This Kid in Metal in the next break because I was listening to the lyrics a little. Typically, when Aaron sends me all the stuff, I listen to it in my office as I'm doing other things, so I don't pay real attention to the lyrics and stuff. And then this morning, I started really listening to it and paying attention to the lyrics. And you get a little deep there, and I want to talk more about that in the next break. So I'm kind of pushing that off to the next break. So we'll wrap up the last couple of minutes here with other stuff. But I got a complaint. I got a complaint.
Oh,
Which is I call the song Glow Sticks. I do this to everybody, by the way. I did it to Vector when they were on. I was changing the name of their songs too. It's light on you.
Light of You.
Light of You. Okay. That song has a afterlife of at least 24 hours because that is an earworm that sticks in my head. And the next morning I wake up going, glow sticks, glow sticks. I was actually even I think it was I was telling Saving Jackie the same thing. And they were like, yeah, I know what you mean, man.
Yeah, no,
It's not a bad song. It just sticks in your head, man, which is, I guess, what you really want, though, right?
yeah, it's I think there's a line between a song that gets stuck in your head and a song that's annoying that gets stuck in your head. And I will be honest, I think any song gets annoying when stuck in your head for longer than 30 minutes.
No, my thing
can't
is
handle it.
My thing is like Caffeine is another one. Now, see, I did know the name of that song. Caffeine is another one that I wake up with that song stuck in my head and I just go, curse you, Caleb. There you go. Aaron, you have anything?
You know what's awful though? When we're going through and editing.
Hang on, Caleb. We're having hang on
videos.
Hang on 1 second, Caleb, because oh, there it goes. The computer froze up and we weren't catching everything you were saying. Oh, we lost him.
Yeah.
You're there.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
All right, cool. We've caught up now. So
okay,
as
cool.
you were saying.
As I was saying, the awful thing is we edit all of our own, we mix, master, and make our own music videos all in house, right? So I do a lot of the editing on the music video side of things. So I have to re-listen to a whole song over and over and over again. And you wouldn't think it, but getting your own song stuck in your head can be the most obnoxious thing in the world. Like when we were editing the Light of You music video, that one was a 3-month edit. I got done with that and I was just like, I want to rip my ears off. I don't want to hear this song ever again.
And then you got to get on stage and play it. Oh, we froze up again.
That's different. It feels comfortable playing it. Oh, okay.
Does it really?
Am I back?
Yeah,
yeah.
back.
It gets you feel comfortable. You feel great playing it, but just going and enjoy listening to it. It's just like I've heard this song like 120 times in like 12 hours. I can't do this anymore.
Hey, that brings me to a story. The first time I met Toby McKeon and Michael Tate of DC Talk, they were outside their bus. Michael had some headphones on, listening to some music. He was listening to the new edition CD, and I asked him. I said, "Why don't you listen to your own stuff?" And they go, "We play it every night."
Yeah.
We just can't stand listening to it. And also Toby said he's such a perfectionist that he would, oh, we need to change this, we need to change this. And he's like, I just had for my own insanity, just leave it alone. Just not want to change everything with the song. It is what it is. We record it, it's out there. That's it.
See, and for me, this show right here, I'll listen to it over and over because I love the sound of my own voice. So,
well, I mean, you both have great voices. It's like this pristine radio. It's wonderful.
I'm getting better.
Listen to this kid try to butter us up, Aaron.
He complains because I don't listen because I don't want to hear my own voice on the show. It's getting a little bit better as we go along.
I did radio for 17 years, so I'm just used to hearing my own voice. And so I listen to it in a different way, which is what you were just mentioning, where I start to critique it and I go, I need to stop doing that or do this, or man, I should have thrown a joke in there, something like that. So
yeah,
that's the way I listen to it. But, you were mentioning a song that you just can't stand to hear again, Bohemian Rhapsody for me. From Queen.
Really?
I love the song. It's a great song. I'm a huge Queen fan since I was a little kid, but I spent a lot of time working in classic rock radio, and I'm okay if I never hear Bohemian Rhapsody ever again in my life.
Yep.
I've been there. So,
well, and I mean, the song's had this weird resurgence as of the past year or so, and it's strange how that works, but it's getting really saturated everywhere. That and a couple of other songs, and you get these great classics, but you're like, when am I gonna burn out on these again? They're in their second life cycle. When am I gonna burn out on them again? And you kind of don't want to see that happen, but it does.
Oh, I could go on for hours talking to you about how they program these songs and consultants and curse them too. Because you're getting the same box of 10, 20 records over and over and over again. And there's so much more out there. And that's one of the reasons, shameless, selfless plug here, Aaron. That's one of the reasons that we decided to do this show was I said, I wanted to focus on bands that aren't getting played over and over and over again. Because that's where the nuggets are. That's where the nuggets of gold are.
Oh yeah.
It really is.
Well, I mean, you get everybody, as rudimentary as this is, everybody starts small. There's nobody who just starts at the top. So how are you going to get the next quote, the next big thing if you're not sifting through the people at the bottom? Sometimes it may be a lot of sifting, but it's a necessary thing, and people like y'all really make all that stuff happen, so it's really nice.
Well, we try, and I know there's other people out there doing what we're doing as well, and that's great. And I see this like you said, a resurgence, but this isn't really a resurgence. I just see the everything kind of going in a different direction here, where now I got a mic in my home and you've got a mic in your home. And I was looking at your Spotify page, and you got the one album out there, but you're throwing singles out there. Boom, boom, boom. And you can do that whenever you feel like.
Yep.
And who needs a record company for that?
That's the thing. It's nowadays you're definitely seeing the middleman get cut out of things for better or worse. Really what I've found is it's just about adapting as the music industry changes. It's not so much, oh, we need to stay with this old formula, or, oh, Spotify doesn't give me enough money. Well, it doesn't,
right.
You can't change a lot of it. And if your business is designed to where you're adapting to the changes and you're trying to look ahead and see where everything's going, you can navigate it. Okay.
Right. Well, being from the old 80s record company era, the record companies have their place. They're not, I don't even want to call them a necessary evil. They have their place, and they have a lot of things to offer. What the record companies did was they got too big for their britches, and they started short paying their artists and not promoting the artists, or you have to put this record out and we'll see about doing the record you want. And the next one, we'll see how the first one does. That's what they did with Skid Row. Skid Row didn't want to be a hair band, but the record company said, you got to be a hair band because that's what's going on right now. And we'll see about doing what you really want to do on the next record. Well, the first record did so well. They put the next record out and that was more of a true Skid Row record. However, and it's a great record, by the way, but it's not that big hair. And everybody wanted big hair at that. They knew Skid Row for big hair.
Yep.
And so it just imploded on itself. It didn't work.
Yeah.
Where if they had just put out the record they wanted to put out, maybe it would have failed, but there's a chance that it would have been the next big thing. Who knows? Yeah. And, but you're getting money from Spotify. I haven't gotten a dime.
No, it's I'll put it this way. It's a couple of dimes.
Okay.
But
I haven't gotten one.
It's definitely not a couple of dollars. That's for sure. It's
he's rubbing them together.
Right.
Yeah. Like I'm becoming the guy who I can either save all that and by like age 80, I might be able to buy like a meal from Taco Bell, or I can just take my dimes, and I can go throw them into like a fountain at the mall.
A wishing well.
Something.
Yeah. Hey, my song just hit 1 million listens. I can go buy a 69-cent taco.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well,
exactly.
Well, you are starting to see artists though. I mean, I used to complain about the price of merch, but then I realized I'm no longer having to spend money to buy CDs. So maybe I can afford a little bit more in the merch because that's going to the artist.
Yeah.
Right.
More than what listen on Spotify. And I do like the resurgence of vinyl that's coming out with different colors and all that. And artists are getting creative of how to keep themselves on the road. Not, the artists we're talking about, not getting rich, but, how can we get money in the gas tank to make it to the next town?
Yep.
And so it's good. So,
well, I think that everybody that's doing what we're doing here would really like to do it full time, right? We would all like to make our paycheck off of this.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, the beauty of it is you get to put out the product you want to put out. We put out the product we want to put out, and we're enjoying what we're doing. And yes, we want to make some money at it, but that's not, well, for us, I don't know about you, for you, that's not my driving goal in this.
Right. Well, that's the thing. It's like you can't lose if you're enjoying what you're doing and you're not there's a thing that I have, right, that we all have in the band, and it's you look to the future to be like, okay, yeah, here's what I'd like to do, here's where vision wise and everything, here's where I want to take the direction, but you don't stay there. You look at it as here, I'm going to work to get to this next point and then see what happens. It's not there's the peak of the mountain, I'm going to stare at it forever, and if I don't make it up there, I'm going to be crushed, because
right.
if you're staring at the top of the mountain forever, and it's like that's your one goal, it's simple, but you make it up the mountain, you're like, yes, I made it up, now what?
Right.
Enjoy
exactly.
the journey, enjoy the process, every next step, every little moment, celebrate it, enjoy it, and just do what you're called to do with passion for it.
Right. And see, for me on this, I told Aaron, well, I keep saying, yeah, it'd be great to make some money at this, but it gives me a pretty big ego stroke when Aaron comes and tells me, hey, we picked up a listener in Singapore. And I was like, you're kidding me. Oh yeah, somebody out in Australia listened. I was like, no way. I never in my dreams thought of it. But at the same time, I get to talk and meet cool people like yourself and Saving Jackie and Reborn and Faithhead. I love those guys in Faithhead. Have you met those guys, Faithhead?
No, I haven't gotten to meet them yet, but we're actually playing a show with them in Missouri in Arkansas, North Arkansas in October. So hopefully I can get to meet those guys finally.
I'm gonna have a homework assignment for you with Faith Head.
Okay.
I've
Okay.
got something I want you to do. All right. Aaron, what are we gonna play here
the
from
new song?
this is
Get this kid a medal.
Get this kid a medal. All right. Just in time for the Tokyo Olympics, right? That's why you released it, correct?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly why. There was no other occasion. Yep.
Oh, what a bore fest. I was watching some of it last night. I was watching the skateboarding. We were just completely bored. Anyhow,
I just
get
didn't
this-
watch.
yeah, nobody is. Get this kid a medal. It's Stonewall Static on Rock Solid Muzkast Experience.